Today we have a lovely young lady who is both a marketeer and handles personal branding, whatever that is, and I'm sure we're about to find out. Please meet Anneliese.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you for joining us on the beach.
Thank you for calling me young.
Compared to me. So, marketeer stroke personal branding. Can you explain that to me?
Okay, so I think there's a difference between marketing and personal branding. I've worked in marketing, and marketing is traditionally sort of the messages you put out, the way you communicate, those sorts of things. But for me, something that I noticed with my business especially is that people were approaching me because they wanted to work with me. And I was like, what is this about? Why is this? And it's because people feel like they know me. So I was unpicking that a little bit, and then I thought, oh, I could help other people with this, because it's about values-driven marketing. So everything that you put out there comes from I always recommend about 5 values. So for example, like one of mine is giving, I'm creative, logical, blah, blah, blah. So everything that I put out there are one of these 5 values, and it enables people to feel something and to understand who I am quite quickly. So therefore, people only approach me because they have similar values or they want to work in a similar way to me.
I see.
So it's values driven, I suppose.
So, so you see, on first impression, personal branding to me would be somebody who, one of these people that told you what to wear and things, like did your wardrobe for you.
Yeah.
But I think what you're saying is that the personal branding is actually, it's more about who and what you're about.
Absolutely, yeah.
What your values are, and what attracts people to those values. Is that
100%?
Yeah.
Yeah, because humans they relate to humans on an emotional level.
Yeah.
And I try to help people harness that. So I find a lot in business, I meet people who aren't quite themselves, and they're doing something because they think, oh, this makes money. But when you start to unpick personal branding with them, it's sort of their drivers, what really motivates them, what gets them out of bed in the morning, which then in turn makes them much more passionate about what they do.
Mm.
And then it's about how you then spread that message. So with some people, I talk about dressing. So say they're a sparkly, upbeat person. This is what they're all about. They're super optimistic. So I say, okay, well, dress everything that you do in this way. So dress yourself, dress your Twitter banners, dress your website with lots of nice, vibrant, bubbly images. That's who you are. Mm. So it is essentially kind of the look and feel of the person as well, mm-hmm. but it's driven from those core things that really make you tick.
So what about the power dressers then?
Well, I love a power dresser, me.
Yeah.
I bought this jacket actually to look a bit power dressing-y. Do you like it?
Right. Not even sure if the cameras can cope with that one. Yeah.
Fluoro.
It's lovely.
Thank you, darling. So power dressing is an interesting one because I think the way that you dress really does give people an understanding of who you are quite quickly. You know, if you're kind of quite florally and birdy, fabulous. And then what kind of person are you? You like to chill out on a beach and love your life. I love it. People make a judgment about you in a very short period of time, but people also do that online. You know, the sort of things you write about, if you write about yourself all the time, if you make everything sort of the me show, or if everything that you put out is sort of, self-sabotaging or kind of deflammatory of yourself, like people get a perception of who you are in real life and online. I think it's just about kind of carefully managing your brand so that people get the right impression straight away.
But if you're managing it, is it really you then?
This is an interesting question because I think it's a version of you. Like, no one's happy all the time, are they?
We are.
No one loves life all the time. Sometimes you have off days, sometimes you want to go to bed, sometimes you don't want to talk to people. So if it comes from your personal values, if it comes from your values, it should be a key driver for you all the time.
Yeah, it's. I think what you're saying, I'm finding a lot more in business. Mm. Even although I'm kidding you on a little bit about it, I am finding it that I can't remember the terminology, but it's about stuff coming to you rather than you going looking for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And selling is falling into that category as well. But it's very much the current vibe, isn't it? Is that if you're in marketing, it's not to go chasing it, it's to do everything to create it to come to you.
Yeah.
Reverse the flow. What do they call it? There's a term for it, isn't there?
I don't know, the way I talk about it is basically like swap the fishing rod for a net that just brings everything in instead. You know.
Okay. All right. Well, that's certainly current, interesting stuff. And yeah, it's fascinating.
But this is the thing with personal branding as well. It can establish you so that you don't necessarily get people who approach you for freebies all the time. Because, you know, like imagine like Apple products or Rolex, you know, these companies have a value, specifically they're £3,000 or whatever, but they also have a perceived value. And it's the same with personal branding. So you sort of attribute yourself as like someone who's successful and someone who's worth it. So people wouldn't think to say, oh no, just do this for free for me.
So yeah, so talking of perception, is I'll say to people, I'll say to the client, for example, you know, is your company a Rolex or a Timex? Now, both tell the time.
Yeah, it's true.
But which one do you want to be recognised as? Or do you want to be somewhere in the middle? Do you want to aspire to? You have to understand.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to do things yourself unprofessionally, then people are going to take it as unprofessional.
It's true fact, yeah.
Sorry,
I think you're absolutely right in terms of perceived value. I think that people want to perpetuate success and they want to look really successful, but if they haven't got the money to back that up, or they haven't got the time commitment or the effort commitment to actually make that so, and to think about what they're putting out there, how they're putting it out there, how they're engaging an audience, then how can they be, you know, your Rolex person? How can they? People are a little bit more slapdash about it, and I do find this when I work with clients, you hold hands a lot and you kind of guide them, but then I suppose that's why you're the professional, aren't you? Helping people along.
Yeah, it's difficult, but people's perceptions are quite ridiculous, and first impressions are a big thing, which I guess is by and large where you're coming from.
Yeah, there's two schools of thought here, isn't there? There's one is fake it till you make it, or be it till you see it. And I think there's a difference there. You know, if you actually they always say about dressing for the job you want, if you're always on point and you're always dressed sharply and everything that you put out there, because I tutor students as well at Solent University, and I talk to them and I say, right, you want employment in X, Y, Z amount of time, start now. All your social media channels, create a website for yourself, dress yourself, make sure that everything you're putting out there is representative of who you want to be and where you want to work. Because if you don't think about it, you'll end up anywhere. But you can actually kind of materialise your life if you want to, but you have to commit yourself to, I look like this, I say these things, I associate with these people, you know, and you plan it.
And when you're on the beach, you're on the beach.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%.
Not when you're at work. So, Anneliese, this has been great, but we haven't really touched on anything about Anneliese the person.
Yes, I
so
am a person.
Give us a quick rundown on that. What do you do for outside of work, shall we say?
Outside of work, I have 2 cats I'm obsessed with, and I am 100% a mad cat lady.
So Anneliese, thank you so much for coming in to see us.
Thank you
will
so
come back
much.
another time.
Love it.
And maybe we'll reverse roles at some point.
Yes.
And I'll very much look forward to that.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for watching On the Beach yet again. Do join in, get in touch, tell us your stories, or, you know, if you've got questions for any guests, by all means put them to us. Look forward to seeing you again. Bye.